Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel.
I just drove another 2.5 hours to get to see my good friends Barron and Elsa. They live out here in Colorado, and they have a scamp trailer that they pulled behind their Subaru. And I drove my Miata down these horrible washboard roads to get here. Gosh, I thought I was going to have the life shaken out of me. But I've been wanting to visit them for a very long time, and since I was close enough seeing Zach that I would be able to come down and see them, I just couldn't pass up the opportunity. I cannot get over how resilient this car is. It just does not stop for anything.
This car is so cool, man. It's so cool. I love that the steering wheel and seats are like haggard, and that there's showing. I think you gotta like leave it in its.
You can see that it's
vintage,
been
sort of
well loved, and that the top's been left down all the time.
Right. I think that's so epic.
And also, have you noticed this? The seat belts are totally gray. Until you pull them out.
That's hilarious.
Right? Like they've been sun stained.
This is epic, man.
I love this car. I am so impressed with this.
It's very cool.
We're gonna put the car up on some ramps so that I can maybe show you some of the braces and shielding that he's put on under the car, and also get some visible suspension travel. Yep, you got it. There you go. All right, that's it.
Sketchy.
That's what you want to see, right? Oh gosh, look, this is up in the air.
So not that much flex.
Not that much flex. It's stock suspension on blocks, right?
No, just springs.
Oh, that's right. You said you have springs on it. We think maybe long travel off-road suspensions in your future.
For sure.
Yeah.
And then maybe once we need a transmission, we'll do a 6-speed swap.
Yes. Good. Yeah, that'll be a lot more fun.
And then it's done.
Done.
But it's not something that I'm like constantly wanting to throw money at. It's just when something breaks or something makes sense, then we upgrade it.
Mm-hmm. You're never really going to be done, right?
No, because we'll keep this car forever.
Right. That's how I am with my Mini.
Yeah.
I'm like, any idea that I come up with, I'm never really in a rush to do it because I know that I'll have it for so long. I'll get around to it eventually.
The R53 is the coolest body style of Mini's ever made.
Funny fact, he used to have an R53 very similar to mine, a green first gen S, and actually the front bumper that's on my car right now, I got off of his car.
And I met you at the Mini service center.
We met at the dealership a long time ago and became friends, and that's kind of how I ended up here right now in a long roundabout way.
And we actually towed the Scamp with our Mini for about a year.
Mm-hmm. And it did it.
Yeah, it did it really well in the Rockies.
I see some juicy Go Fast parts here. And you said this is an STI intercooler?
Yeah, it's from like a later model. I think it's an 09 or something. So it's a lot bigger, but it doesn't say STI on it, which really sucks.
Right.
Most of them do.
But the people who are in the know know.
Yeah. And then we have our transmission cooler right here that you can see through our custom grill.
Custom, right. That's the best kind of custom.
Yeah.
The kind of custom that doesn't cost any money.
And then this is the AOS. And then the turbo blanket you can kind of see through there too. I guess the turbo blanket is so that it prevents heat soak into the intercooler.
Yeah.
And I guess the turbo actually functions better when it's hot.
Yeah, so from what I understand with turbo blankets, basically the idea is instead of the heat getting out and soaking into other components like the intercooler that's right there, it keeps all the heat in the turbo, which essentially helps the exhaust gases stay hotter, which creates higher velocity in the exhaust and therefore helps it spool slightly faster.
Right.
So it's kind of a really inexpensive way of creating a win-win and also gaining performance and reliability.
Yeah. Oh, and another thing I didn't mention is we put in a higher flow fuel pump and fuel rails.
Yep.
And then slotted rotors and new brake pads recently.
Nice. Yeah, you've done everything.
For the most part. Originally we just had Rally Tech springs that gave us a little bit more lift and stopped the back end from sagging out when we were towing. And
you pack this thing full of a lot of stuff.
Yeah, we do, because our camper is so small, and then we have a rooftop carrier too. We have a Thule Force XT rooftop carrier in a size large. That's been probably the most consequential thing we've ever done to this car. And then we have Yokohama Geolander ATs for tires, and they're one of the only all-terrain rated tires that fits the stock specs, so we don't have to run our spare on the roof.
I love that you guys have taken the ultimate stereotypical Subi mantra and rolled with it completely and done everything that you could possibly think of.
What is the stereotypical Subi mantra?
Well, like you see in Colorado everywhere, I've never seen so many Subarus in one place as I have in Colorado.
Yeah.
But the lift, the big knobby tires, the
hardly
roof.
though. Our lift and tires are super modest. They're more
sure.
They're more functional than look cool.
Yeah.
Because we spend a lot of time on the highway too.
Yeah.
So
they're definitely functional though.
Yeah.
The edges of the tread blocks where it meets the sidewall are still pretty knobbly.
Right.
So if you had to go through, some mild amounts of mud,
which we do,
you would still get that benefit.
Right.
And the tread blocks are pretty far apart. They're decent off-road tires.
Yeah.
But the whole look of being lifted, having the roof rack and the rally lights and the brush bar on the front, and the kind of overall rugged look, we use this all day, every day.
We do use it every day.
And you got how many miles on this car? 206,000.
Well, we just
That's
swapped
awesome.
out the motor, and it's got
Right.
5,000 on it.
Right.
But
So
our head gaskets were failing, and we tested the compression, and it was low enough to where we could probably squeeze out a few more years out of it. But rather than putting all that money into just doing head gaskets, we're
while you're in there.
yeah, let's just replace the motor. And we did it at TGA Performance in Colorado Springs.
Yep.
Those guys are super awesome.
And there you got more performance and significantly less worry.
Right, totally. I was so surprised you just dove into that.
I know. I decided I was going to do it, and from there it was just a matter of finding the right path and sending it.
That you did.
I do occasionally send it here and there.
There she is.
Under a tarp.
Baja edition.
I just wanted to make sure it didn't get rained on while we were gone. All that rough road that you just saw is what I drove in the Miata on last night. And that washboard surface in a 25-year-old convertible with the top down, oh my God.
You saw a ghost.
I thought I had seen a ghost. Gosh, I was so shaken up. Literally, I was just sitting there like this. On our way back into town on a supply run, Barron saw something in the road that made him decide we should stop and investigate. And what we found was a pretty sad sight. I saw him take a breath a second ago, but he kind of did his last flail about. Oh, there he's moving a little bit.
This is really morbid, so I'm sorry.
It is.
I don't know. I don't know how to make it less morbid.
I don't think you can. It was clear at this point that the snake was not going to make it. And so we collected it from the road, did some quick research, and set out to do the best thing that you can do with an animal that's passed, and put it to good use in every way that you can. Yeah, outside of being around you guys, where I'm kind of comfortable and out of the city, this is definitely something that I would have declined the opportunity to do before. But sometimes when the day is improvised, it's more interesting than if you have it planned.
I don't think we could have really planned this.
No, but this is a rewarding experience of sorts.
It's really pretty. It's much more brown than the.
Right.
It's really light. I wonder, is it young?
No. I bet this is 5+ years old. But it's a, I want to call it pygmy, but it's not pygmy. It's,
Wow.
But they're kind of a greener hue than a diamondback or a timber rattler.
After cleaning and preserving the skin, we did end up eating the meat. And yes, I can say it did in fact taste like chicken. These two people are some of my favorite people in the whole world, and if you haven't checked out their channel yet, I highly suggest you do.